asked the question, what is he fighting for? What, even if the whole Nigerians voted for him, they will never have gotten, they will never allowed him to get there. But there are other ways in which he would have probably done it. But calling for revolution, it's easy. But how many people understand the word revolution? How many people can perceive it the way he had wanted it to? Before you know it, everybody's carrying gun.
Question about him and border closure. Which one do you think the federal government should attend to first?
Is the best. But which one do I think they should attend to first?
Like, should they open the border first or release Sowore first? Which one do you think the federal government should attend to?
The two don't relate now. How does the two relate?
Arrest of Sowore.
No, the arrest of Sowore was based on the fact that the government feels he has offended to a law, which must go through the law, the process of law, even though we know that the court of law has said release him. They granted him bail. But government, for one reason or the other, best known to them, I don't know what reason, they didn't release him. But this one on border closure is government policy. They decided to close the border for the purpose or for the sake of Nigerian-made goods, which is a good idea.
Yeah, but I'm saying now,
two of them, they don't relate. You to now say choose one.
I'm saying as a matter of national interest. As a matter of national interest.
Okay, national interest. Which one?
Yes.
Well, I think when it comes to a matter of national interest, the one that is most paramount, so to speak, is the border closure, then followed by Sowore.
Why?
The reason is because, number one, Sowore had his reason for going to do what he did.
Which Nigerians don't support?
No, I'm not saying Nigerians don't support, but he had his own personal reason for doing it. I have so many grudges against the government. I have so many things to discuss. I mean, I feel government is not doing right, but it will be my personal decision to go out there, call people to call the public or call a group of people together and instigate them. It was instigation. He instigated people according to. You understand? No revolution. There must be a leader who is instigating. Good. But for border closure, it's government policy, is it not? It's government policy. So the government decided to close the borders so that Nigerians can rely on their own products. Nigerians can go. So the two do not correlate at all. They don't resemble themselves. But for national interest sake that you are talking about, I think the one that is most national interest look alike is the border closure. It's national interest. The other one, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Sowore wanted to be the president of Nigeria.
Right.
He decided to want to be the president of Nigeria because he believed that he has something to offer. It's personal. It's personal. Yes or no?
Right.
It's personal. Do you go to convince Sowore to come and be president of Nigeria? No, it was a personal decision.
He had the interest of Nigerians at heart.
Personal interest. That's what he told you. Do you know which one of these presidents, governors, which one of them never had interest of Nigeria at heart? Every one of them do say they do have Nigeria interest at heart. That is what they say. God, deep down inside him, do you know? You can't know a person. You can only know him based on what he has told you, but deep down, do you know him? You don't know him. But whatever he did is personal decision. Doing what he did is personal decision. But the one that has the first look of national interest is the border closure. That one borders on everybody's life.
Yeah, but let me ask you, what if you don't know Sowore and his personal intentions, but you know what he's fighting for, which is in the interest of Nigerians? Or if he has told you that he's fighting for...
I asked the question, what is he fighting for? What is he fighting for?
He's asking for revolution of the country, actually.
Revolution. It's a good thing to ask for the revolution. But there are so many places where you see that revolution, that word revolution is a pregnant word. It depends on how the people perceive the word revolution. There are other ways in which one can do what he wants to do. Like, I can remember many years ago when Chief Gani Fayemi too had a passion for Nigeria at heart, and then he went ahead to contest election, even if the whole world, even if the whole Nigerians voted for him, they will never have gotten, they will never allow him to get there. But there are other ways in which he would have probably done it. We have the president, we have the Senate. Sure? The president doesn't just take decisions on some major things. You have to pass this through the Senate. Why don't you go to the Senate, become the Senate president, have your people in the Senate, and then you make sure that you start from there. Do you understand what I'm saying? But calling for revolution, it's easy. But how many people understand the word revolution? How many people can perceive it the way he had wanted it to? Before you know it, everybody's carrying gun. Before you know it, there's what do we call it? Internal crisis, shooting, killing. Have you watched Hotel Rwanda before? I've watched it before. That was a film. If the film can be that bad, just imagine the reality of it. It started like this too. People talking. It was one man too that started it, just talking, or radio discussions, and before you know what was happening, the thing became a civil war. They killed innocent people because some people did not perceive it the way the person who was sending the message was sending it. Do you understand? If you call people now and say, let us come out and go and do demonstration or anything, you have said it because you feel something is wrong, something needs to be done. Some of the people that will join us, not be today, some of the people that may join that demonstration, whatever, their own intention is different. They may have the intention to loot, they may have the intention to steal, they may have it. So it calls for revolution. It's good, but is that the real thing? There are so many ways in which I feel things can be done.
Apart from calling for revolution.
Yes, because revolution, some other people may perceive it in another way. Yes or no? Yeah. So there are other ways. Are we even right for that? Are we ripe for that? Revolution. Okay now, Shebi, if indeed Nigerians believe in what he is fighting for, if indeed Nigerians support it absolutely, I expected that Arab Spring to have ignited. If his fight was more or less national interest, I expected something like Arab Spring to have ignited, for people to have down their tools, for people to have said no, for people to have. But pick, as you are here now asking me a question, ask any other person. Just talk about border closure. They'll be more interested in talking about border closure than talking about Sowore. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying what Sowore is fighting for is wrong. Try to understand me. I said you were trying to compare it to national interests. I'm saying when it comes to national interests, border closure is more of national interest than